So we continue with the finance committee. So the time is
Yeah.
7:01 p.m. And the first one was review and discussion, agenda item number 2.1, review and discussion regarding option to extend the proposal on professional consultant services district-wide for an additional 1-year period. And that was Vicky Perez.
And thank you. So the contracted services agreements that we have bid it out last year in November 2019, those are going up for a 1-year extension. This is year one of 2 years that we are able to extend. These are we are bidding those out as well. Those are due on December 8th. So we will see the new ones coming in on that meeting, the December 8th meeting.
Okay, great.
Ms. Perez, if I may just make a comment, or maybe it might be a question, on this agenda item 2.1 that we're discussing right now, as far as the professional consultant services, just in browsing and perusing through the different names of vendors and what they provide for SBCISD, I'm noting on there we have again, it's a question, different people providing consulting for child nutrition and for a dietitian and another child nutrition consulting. Why do we branch out that way if we have a commitment from SFA to help us out with those sorts of issues? Or do they stand alone and it's a totally different, I just need an explanation, please.
No problem, sir. So when we put out these bids, we tell them you're more than welcome to bid on any contracted services that you may be able to provide for the school district,
Okay.
regardless of whether we need it or not. They are there just in case we do. So we
Gotcha.
still stick to SFE. And in the event that we do need some kind of consultant services, we already have vendors that are board approved and we can contract with them legally.
Okay. Thank
It's a
you.
standby. They're on standby in case we
Yeah, there
need
you
them.
go. Thank you. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
Thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem.
No, good question. Okay.
And professional
agenda
consult,
item?
I have a question and comments. On the
Okay.
professional consultant services, the way I'm understanding is you hire this company so they can get other companies, so they can get bids from other companies, or exactly what is their role? Why do we want to extend a 1-year contract to this company?
We are making them available to the district to use at their discretion. So if anybody in the district needs to use a dietitian, then we can consult with our board-approved vendors that we have requested to be board-approved. So we don't have to go out for quotes.
Okay,
Otherwise,
so professional consultant services, that's not a company. It's not a
No.
company that you're hiring to get bids for you.
it is a general description of the vendors that we are asking
That
to
are
board
available.
so that we can have available to our employees if they need to.
Okay, all right. And what is the process for these bids? So they can become vendors on this list?
We
Can you
advertise-
explain that?
Go ahead, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Will you please explain that?
Yes, ma'am. We
Thank you.
put them out in the newspapers. We tell them that their bids are open until X date, whatever date it may be. For right now, it is December 8th. We have the bid available online on our purchasing website. And then from there, they're given a deadline as to when they can submit that information.
When
We
was
open-
this posted?
This one was from last year. So this one in particular is an extension of what we did last year.
Okay, so this year, you didn't open it up for bids.
We did, and that one is closing on December 8th.
Okay,
And it will go for approval, if I'm not mistaken, January, after we review all of the information, ensure that their paperwork is clear, all of the requirements have been met and in compliance.
is this also advertised in the newspapers?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just wondering why, and I think one of the lists here says, board approved, December 8th, 2020.
These are rolling bids, so we open them up several times throughout the year. So here, it will open up on December 8th. It will go to be open on December 8th, March 9th, and July 15th. So that gives the vendors an opportunity to be added to the list so that we can utilize them correctly.
Okay, so you're just putting the date there. That's all you're doing. Okay.
Correct. These are last year's contracted consultants, and we are asking that we approve for them to be available for use again.
Okay. Agenda item. Okay, then we go to 2.2, review and discuss regarding option to extend the proposal on meals and catering services district-wide for an additional 1-year period. Ms. Perez?
Like the consultants, we do have a list of meal vendors that we have asked for bids so that our school can use them as well. So this is, again, an extension of what we board approved last year. So this is extension 1 of 2. And that is also, we do also have that one as an open bid right now. So any new vendors will come in the next month.
So Ms. Perez, a question on these, and I'm looking at some, for example, Longhorn Restaurant Corporation doing business as Longhorn Cattle Company. When will these, who is in charge of updating these? From my understanding, Bill Turner is no longer the owner. So will we, do these get updated as well?
These, our list is approved as it was submitted 1 year ago.
Okay.
So, but we can make sure that the contact information has been updated to reflect correctly.
Okay, I mean, they're all good vendors. I don't have a problem with it. I would like to see, you know, that they're updated. And then the other concern, I mean, like Luby's is closing down everywhere. I don't know, you know, so just so we keep them updated. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Agenda item.
I have another question on the AGM Food LLC well, as well for all these other companies that you have listed on here, are they all for catering for staff members or is it for our food for our students? What are these companies for?
For both.
For both?
Yes, we have in the prior year, because of our student travel, once we reach a $50,000 aggregate for the year, we do have to go out for bids. So this is meeting that requirement. So this is for student travel meals, it's for catering services, any kind of meal service that we are going to be requesting.
What about for the cafeteria?
No, ma'am, that is entirely separate. We have a purchasing co-op for the child nutrition program that we have to go through as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Agenda item. Okay. Number 3, committee concerns.
I have a concern. I know that we received a list of probably where the POs were paid out. Some of the POs were paid out. What I wanted to know is, do you do it more descriptive? Because they really don't say what they're being paid out for or what the item is that we purchased or so forth. Do you do that? Could you do that more descriptive or maybe put them by category? Because they're all, I know that you probably do them by POs, is that correct?
We are actually, that one is done by check numbers.
Okay.
And when we did have the description on there, unfortunately, it had student information because quite honestly, we get glasses for our students and we were not comfortable with having that kind of information out in the public. But I can certainly look into some options for you.
Okay, yeah, so that either that or I don't know if we need to categorize them or where these are for media, this is for, whatever the categories would be. Because they're, if you're looking at them, you're scrolling to it, it's quite overwhelming, and you're not looking to see, and then you're having to ask for copies of the PO and what it was paid for. And rather than to do that, if it had a little bit of a description, not giving any information that we shouldn't be putting on there, ¿verdad? Of course, student, maybe put a student or something, that we would know, that we were not having to request what it was paid for and what it was for. And this would probably eliminate a lot of the questions and calls and so forth. I'm just trying to be a little bit more where we don't have to do all that, and we can just look at it and determine what it's for.
Yes, I
Ms.
think
Perez, are you being there for, taking care of this? Have you ever ran into any problems like what Yanis is saying? Have you run across any, asking that we need to change things? Have you had any problems with that or concerns?
Not at this time.
So it's been working pretty well so far.
It has.
Great, thank you, that's good.
Well,
Okay.
and I'm just saying that because every board member is different. And so I would like to have a little bit of a descriptive so that I know what I'm looking at rather than to let the imagination and make assumptions. I hate to make assumptions. I'd rather know than make assumptions. And I don't want to, I know that you're very busy, Ms. Perez, and I don't want to absolutely have to bother you in reference to looking to see what was being paid and to whom and for what. So if we could get a little bit of a descriptive, it'd be much easier for everybody. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Right, right. Because to me, when I look at those reports and I just see 67,000 paid to this company, then that doesn't give me details as to what was purchased or, so there's always a lot of questions like, okay, what was this company paid 27,000? Why was this one paid 40,000 and so forth? And so I agree with Ms. Yanis that we do, I personally would like to see more descriptive information also when it comes to purchases like that. And I'm sure that we can always work with Dr. Carmen also to request more detailed information, or with you in the future as well.
Exactly.
I think for somebody that's got a little bit, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a guru, but I'm familiar with budget. I want to make sure that our funds are being expended correctly, and that the expenses that we're making, especially when it comes to federal funds, that the expenses are allowable expenses. And so again, I applaud you, Vicky, for the being discreet in reference to, we don't want student names on there,
Exactly.
but we do want to make sure that, and I'm not saying this is happening in San Benito, but we want to make sure that it doesn't, to where some things are just being signed off because somebody said to do it, and that it's not an allowable expense. And it's been known to happen in many districts. So as a new incoming board that we're on, we want to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Understandable, sir.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think maybe we can troubleshoot that, Mrs. Pettis. I know the challenge with the description is that because we have to indicate if we buy glasses for a student, it's indicated, or other reasons when we spend money on students, we include that student list. I don't know if we can look going forward as putting that as a separate attachment possibly, so that it doesn't actually show up in the body of the description. And then we could go back to including that possibly. I'll bet we can troubleshoot that and find a solution.
I'm pretty
Good.
sure, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Carmen.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Carmen.
Thank you,
also.
Vicky.
Thank you. Okay, meeting adjourned at 7:14 PM. Thank you.